Every so often, a special type of game comes along. Amongst a sea of easy games, hard games, goofy games, and serious games, something special gets made. Something that is somehow all of these things, all at once, wrapped up like a delicious burrito on Christmas. When Trombone Champ came out, it was decidedly a goofy and easy game. Barely made it through that last song? Who cares, man? Butcher the next one even worse. The criteria for beating this game was extremely achievable for even the most incompetent of players. That is, until October 9th, 2022, when YouTuber and Trombone Champ Discord member DerpyChap altered the course of history. In one moment, everything changed. With custom tracks, Trombone Champ turned from a joke game into a test of the human spirit, a statement of mankind's pursuit of excellence, and my newfound divine purpose. What exactly is it I'm trying to achieve here? What does it mean to be the best tromboner? For the purpose of this video, I'm gonna say getting an S on every available base game track, plus Through the Fire and Flames. While I'm at it, I may as well get all the achievements in the secret ending too. Only just now hearing about the trombone meme game having a secret ending? Buckle in, buddy. The train's only just leaving the station. Without hesitation, I got to work just playing the game. The sailing is smooth and the stakes are low. Did I get an S on Hava Nagila? No. Did I offend every Jewish person watching this video with my rendition of it? Maybe, but it doesn't matter. I can just come back to it later. As long as I get 4 S's and give everything else the old college try, I'm on my way to getting the secret ending. It's not like all of these tracks are winners anyways. What else is needed for the secret ending? Well, after getting 4 S's, go to the Baboon tab to find Toot Seeker Tom, the primordial baboon, and feed Toots to his treble clef Toot Vessel. Earn Toots by 2 needed up playing songs. After giving him 10,000 total Toots, you unlock the blue key in addition to a few other cosmetics. Then you need to find Tom's counterpart, Baboon Bassmaster Ben, by clicking on the Bass Clef collectible card. He'll let you feed 3,000 turds to the Bass Clef Toot Vessel in order to unlock the red key. How do you get turds? Well, first you gotta buy stacks of cards with Toots to get cards like Blue Eyes White Baboon and Mozart Music Storm, and then flush them down the toilet. Now that you've got the red and blue key, click on the candle at the bottom right of the card collection screen to summon a card collecting demon. Trade a fuckload of cards to the demon to unlock the Champ trombone color. In settings, change your baboon quantity to Inferno and baboon preference to Hamadryas. Go back and click on your Trazom card, change your character to Servant of Babi and your trombone color to Champ, and challenge Trazom. And don't forget your 10 hot dog cards. The next logical step to trombone mastery is to finish getting all the achievements. Most of these you get while getting the secret ending or by getting a bunch of S's, which I'm doing anyways. But there are a few you have to go out of your way to get, like turning your last Mozart, turning the volume all the way down, and abstaining from playing entirely. After that, it's basically just getting an S on the rest of the base game songs. Now, I knew I was going to hit a roadblock somewhere eventually. I just didn't expect it to come quite so early. Hava Nagila is kind of like the Bell Gargoyles of Trombone Champ. Like the Bell Gargoyles, the game is forcing you to learn your shit for this one. Up until now, I've gotten by totally fine just using the mouse in one hand and pressing spacebar with the other, what one particular community would refer to as single tapping. I was vaguely aware of the Osu community before starting this journey, thanks to what I guess you'd call internet culture, but I had no idea just how deep the rabbit hole goes. There's a whole wiki page on different styles of play, like using a touchscreen, a tablet, mouse only if premature aging is something that interests you, fucking joystick. What I needed to adopt if I wanted to be the best was something called an alternating tapping style. This is basically just going back and forth between 2 keyboard keys so you can hit those notes that come really quickly one after the other. Sounds pretty simple, but it's actually a pretty awkward learning curve when you're first getting used to it. I don't really properly get comfortable with it until way later when I'm basically forced to perfect it. Anyways, once I adopted alternating tapping, Havanagula was a piece of cake. Havanagula was a piece of cake. It was a piece of cake. Before anyone asks, yes, I coughed up $80 to play Trombone Champ. What was I supposed to do? The wiki said it's a popular playstyle among top players. All the best Osu players have one. Was I supposed to just settle for mediocrity? I didn't start this challenge to be a loser, so if paying real-world money for equipment that gives me an unfair advantage over the competition is what it takes to be a winner, I'm gonna fucking do it. I think the results speak for themselves. Also, yes, I'm aware of the leaderboards that got added back in January. Believe it or not, I actually started filming this forever ago. I retroactively decided that being on top of the leaderboard for every track would be pretty suicidal, and that being the only person with an S on everything would be good enough. And S's I got, baby! I got S's on everything all the way up to Ein Champ, the clusterfuck remix from the secret ending. Instead of smashing my head against a wall trying to get over the huge difficulty spike this song is, I took a little detour and did a couple custom tracks, like this kind of out of sync We Are Number One, and a 2010 classic throwback track. Brody Quest was actually really good practice for Ein Champ. Ein Champ isn't that hard when you stop and look at the track, it's just really fast. Getting the rhythm down isn't what's hard either, it's mostly just lifting up the first note fast enough so the second note registers in time. It took a little bit, and it's definitely not my best work, but with this track, I had fully cleared the base game. The inspiration for the video. We've made it. And I instantly come to regret everything. Ein Champ had me confident in thinking this was going to be a cakewalk, and Through the Fire and the Flames had me like... What a fucked song. Spirits were low and they were about to get a whole lot lower. In trying to see if there were any tricks to get a better score, I stumbled across a competitor. A kindred spirit in pursuit of trombone glory. Salient. Not only had Salient gotten an S on Through the Fire and Flames, he had gone and found the hardest tracks available on the Discord and gotten S's on all of them too. Tracks that were somehow even harder than Through the Fire and Flames. How could I pretend to be the best tromboner in the world with an S for one song when Salient was out here batting S's in all these other songs? I realized that I was in the belly of the whale. I had crossed the point of no return. What started as a fun challenge morphed into a compulsion to be better. To be the best. If I wanted to be the best tromboner in the world, I needed to be better than Salient, because as far as I was concerned, he was the best tromboner in the world. But first I needed some practice. I realized that Through the Fire and Flames was such a jump in difficulty from the next hardest track that I needed some stepping stones to bridge the gap. Salient also did some songs that weren't as hard, but still a challenge, like Spear of Justice and Megalovania. He also did a lot of fun ones that I had to match him on too. Highlights include Careless Whisper, Trampoline, a classic, and of course, I was going through every track Salient had done one by one, ordered by difficulty, until around Megalovania when I decided it was time to finish what I had started. Really, I had to just grind it out for a while before clearing the track was an actual possibility. One night, while practicing and having a drink, I made an interesting discovery. After a drink or two, my performance kind of changed. Not for better or for worse, just different. I realized that my rhythm and ability to hit consecutive notes had just plummeted. I mean, some really shameful stuff. But something magical was happening in another part of the song. This clusterfuck part I was improving at. This part is basically all tracking and no rhythm. The bourbon flowing through my veins was loosening me up and allowing me to track these huge swings in pitch. After a few extra tries, I learned to adapt to the drink, learned to channel the alcoholism. And then I had poured hours, days into learning this song, and not once had I ever managed to fill the chant meter for any of the middle part. Despite the terrible rhythm, I managed to beat my personal best by a whopping 270,000 points. Returning with a sober mind the following days, I practiced and practiced, putting to use the wisdom the booze bestowed upon me. I tensed up to keep rhythm and nail the doable parts, and I loosened up and let the music flow through me for the fucked parts. Through blood, sweat, tears, fire and flames, it happened. If not for Salient, this would be the end of the video. You can take that as a positive or a negative. I still had 4 horsemen to overcome to beat Salient. The easiest of the last 4, Spider Dance is less of a test of skill and more of a desperate sprint for survival. Lots of notes just get thrown at you, so it's hard to keep a multiplier going for half the song. It doesn't help that lots of consecutive notes is what I seem to struggle with the most. Luckily, the other half of the song gives you a chance to make up all the points you lost. Doesn't make the song any less frustrating though. At least the song is really short, so it's not too long before I squeak an S in. What the fuck? Would you believe me if I told you that prior to this I never drank coffee? It's true. Oh, when did you first start drinking coffee? I needed something to jumpstart my day. Something to keep me going through my long shifts at work. Oh, I wanted to take some sort of upper so I could be better at a video game. Where alcohol improved tracking at the expense of rhythm, caffeine did the opposite. It felt like I could see the notes coming better, allowing me to learn the pace of the song. The combination of rapid-fire notes with some being longer and in weird spots made learning this song suck. Practicing this song was a physical hazard. Again, the saving grace of this song is there's a bit in the middle where with a bit of practice you can keep a streak going for lots of free points. Also, I made the executive decision that playing with the note speed slowed down was perfectly acceptable and legitimate. It's not like the song is any different, and honestly, it's harder to learn a song on a slower speed because it's less clear when to hit and let go of certain notes. This isn't cope. Eventually, I managed to scrape by with another S. I'm convinced the person who made this track is an asshole. There's a big empty bit at the start you have to sit through every time you start over, and what at first glance looks like evenly spaced notes is actually erratically spaced notes of slightly different lengths. It's a 4.5 minute long gauntlet of this, the whole way through with almost no breaks, and basically no free bits. You know, basically what I've been counting on up until now? Even Salient commented on this song saying it was messing up his hands. Whoever made this song is a sick fuck, which is why you know I had to give him the old TAV special. There's nothing even to say about this track. Salient says it's the hardest track in the game. I agree. It's right fucked. This song is a culmination of everything I've learned and accomplished to get here. Insane tracking, extremely fast rhythm, and another test of endurance. Of course, there's no free parts anywhere. Every point you have to work for. Luckily, because there are so many slides, building up the chant meter is actually fairly achievable. I felt like I had to rewire my brain on how scoring worked for this track. Normally, getting and maintaining the champ meter is a surefire way to get big points, but on this track that's basically impossible for any length of time. Instead, I had to really loosen up and just focus on mostly getting things right. That would let me build the champ meter faster because I was doing well enough to consistently get it, but I would drop it almost immediately because missing a note was bound to happen. In the end, this is the song I'm most proud of. Not just because it's the hardest track in the game, but because I felt like I really channeled the music here. I had to go into an almost trance-like state while playing this. I barely remember playing this song because I had no thoughts while doing it. The game was the only input, and me playing it was the only output. And then I thought, what if people go look at Salen's channel and see that on basically every track I matched him on, he did slightly better. And retroactively I decided that as long as I got an S that we were even, and score didn't matter. Which also meant that I wasn't the best tromboner in the world, I was tied with Salen as the best tromboner in the world. This just wasn't good enough for me. What is another song I could do that Salen hasn't done that is difficult enough to count as a win?
There you go, let's butcher that guitar solo. So, first, we're gonna stop this for a second. This is a total insult. What have they done? They didn't replicate the Pac-Man noise on the guitar. Someone fixed this on the game.
Wow, thanks for watching. Would you believe me if I told you this video took 8 months to make? To be fair, that's about 2 months playing the game, 1 month finally editing it together, and 5 months eating saltines in the meantime. To my surprise, Trombone Champ was getting pretty consistent updates throughout all that time. If you like rhythm games but passed on Trombone Champ when it was getting all that attention like a year ago, I highly recommend it. It's genuinely really fun. It's constantly getting updates and there's endless tracks to download on the Discord. The leaderboards in different modes and shit could make for a fun challenge. Also a special shout out to Salen. I feel like without him existing, this video wouldn't have been nearly as interesting or fun to make. He's also absolutely cracked at this game, and he's way better than me. You should check him out. Also, before I leave, I obviously went back and cleared all the new songs that got added in my absence. You know I had to get an S on every track first try, just to show the game that I've still got it. I've still got it.